Hello, viewers, and welcome to another edition of We the People Show, coming to you live from Vancouver, Canada. Of course, you know that this program is a current affairs program where we discuss topical issues. And one of the topical issues we are going to be discussing today is the leadership succession in Ohaneze Ndigbo. Of course, we all know that Chief Emmanuel Iwanyang Ayeja Gamba One Nalibo has just left us, and he's actually left a very big shoe for us to wear. And one of those shoes is the leadership of Ohaneze Ndigbo, which before his demise he was leading. And now there is agitation from River State, the Igbos living in River State, who want to assume the leadership of that prestigious organization in Igbo land. And they make their arguments based on the fact that Ohaneze Ndigbo is a rotational has a rotational leadership structure where the leadership, moves from one state to the other. And now they are saying that this is the turn of River State to become to produce the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo. And there's been fears from various quarters that some persons might be working against River State emerging, to lead Ohaneze Ndigbo. In view of all this, we have brought to you two notable guests who are, part of the movement of Ohaneze Ndigbo, who understands, the nitty gritty of what is happening in Ohaneze Ndigbo to discuss the issues with you. First is the he's an indigene, he's a law practitioner, a lawyer, a high chief from the Igbo extraction in River State. And I'm talking of Barrister Jackson Omenulo, if I'm not Omenazu.
Yeah, let me. That is
Yeah,
Jackson
so
Omenas, and let me correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
Jackson
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 Omenas.
Omenas, High Chief
Omenazo
Jackson
Jackson. Yeah,
Omenazu.
I choose
He's a
Omenas.
lawyer. Yeah,
I'm
so
not a
Chief
lawyer.
Jackson.
I'm not a lawyer, but a civil rights activist.
Oh, okay, an activist. Okay, all right. So you're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you. My
Okay,
pleasure.
okay. He's joining us from Port Harcourt anyway, in case you want to know where he's joining us from. So he's joining us from River State, Port Harcourt, from his own town. All right, and secondly, I have another guest with me who is the president of Igbo National Council, Comrade Chilos Godsend, but it does seem that Comrade Godsend is off. But let me see if he has connected because network has been yeah, okay, I think he's here
Yeah,
now. So
Jackson
I
is up.
have
Yeah.
I have yeah, Comrade Chilos Godsend, another activist and the president of Igbo National Council, also as part of this discussion. Comrade Chilos, you're welcome to the program. If you can hear me, Comrade Chilos, if you can hear me, you are welcome to the program. Okay, so let me now start with the activist from River State, High Chief Jackson. Let me start with him to ask him, give us a kind of background of, or first of all, let me know if he's been following the development in Ohaneze Ndigbo. Hi, Chief Jackson. Have you been following the development so far in Ohaneze Ndigbo, and to what extent are you involved, in your participation?
Yeah. Once again, thank you. I've been a member of Ohaneze for a very long time. I'm the chairman Elders Council of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Rivers and Bayelsa State combined, and I've held this position for close to 15 years. I'm a member of IMOBI. I'm a member of General Assembly. I was equally once nominated as a BOT member by Ngeriwe regime and fired with CAC. Unfortunately, how my name disappeared from that BOT list, only God knows, but I don't want to go into that. I was Deputy President General died before Professor Obiozo, blessed memory, died, I was validly nominated to replace the Deputy President General that was from Rivers State, while Chief Emmanuel was nominated by Imo to represent the President General from Imo State. Iyawa own was done seamlessly, but when he came to Rivers State, they started playing some pranks, and it got to the extent that when Iwayanwu died, that was when I now told Ndigbo that I am the acting President General of Ohaneze, having been validly nominated by Rivers Super to replace the dead Deputy President General. So by Ohaneze Constitution, when the President General is not there, the Deputy President General presides. So that is where we are, and that is what now led us to begin to smell the rat that something is going on. Some elements in Ohaneze who doesn't want Rivers State to be hard, or who doesn't want Rivers State to occupy such positions. But such thinking is unheard of. It's an Igbo like, because we, the Ndigbo, will always want to embrace our brothers anywhere we see them. That's
Yeah, when
why
you say you smell the rats, were there forces that opposed your acting as the president I mean in view of Iwanyanwu's demise? Why did you smell a rat? Is it that there were forces against you acting as the deputy president?
exactly. There were forces, and the claim from what I heard from the those close to the powers that be in Ohaneze, that this young man is radically oriented and may not be able to be controlled. And the question is, what form of control do they want? Are we not all working for the interests of Ndigbo, or what? For sure, everyone who knows me knows that I cannot wear a tag of a slave. But if you want us to work for the interests of Ndigbo, I am game. I am prepared to work tirelessly day and night for the interests of Ndigbo. I came out for pure Igbo Renaissance, and that I stood for. But when they are talking about control by their own interpretation may mean probably doing the wrong thing and then asking me to do the wrong thing, and I will obey. That's for sure. Anything that is not for the interest of Ndigbo, I will vehemently resist, no matter the position I occupy. And nobody, I repeat, nobody, no man born of a woman can cajole me to do anything against the interest of Ndigbo and accept it, no matter the trillion that is involved. That's my
Okay,
position there.
okay.
So if
Let's probe let's probe a little bit into the workings of Ohaneze. You know, tell us the members of Ohaneze, the leadership. How do they come on board? How are they nominated or elected? Yeah? Are they controlled? Are they nominated by state governors, or are they certain class of Igbos who nominate them, or are they nominated generally by Ndigbo? What mechanism is used? I mean, how does the leadership, come up?
the, the leadership position in the Igbo, the organigram is very clear by the Ohaneze Constitution. It revolves around those who are prominent members of Imobi
So when
and
you say
General
Imobi,
Assembly.
a lot of people want to know what Imobi entails, what it means.
Imobi is like the Senate. Imobi is like the Senate of Ohaneze Ndigbo. General
Okay,
Assembly is like House of Rep. That is
okay,
the organigram.
okay.
So when issue come up, it goes to General Assembly. From the General Assembly, it comes to Imobi. From Imobi, it takes a stand when there is leadership. Now that's the National Executive Committee, the NEC. Now implements the decision of the General Assembly and the Imobi, that the Senate and the Rep. So in this case now, nominations is made from the states. And when states make nomination for any position, it comes to the General Assembly, which is the Electoral College. that will be selected from each state. Delegates will be selected from each state to form an electoral college where members of NEC will be elected. That is the procedure.
Okay.
So, but sometimes the governors are members of IMOBI for sure. They are members of National Assembly, House of Rep or the General Assembly. So they can make their input. They can say, okay, this is the candidate I want to vote, or this is the candidate I want to vote. But by the setup of Ohaneze, by the Ohaneze original organigram, whether you are a governor, you are a senator, you are a president, as long as you are an Igbo son and a member of IMOBI and General Assembly, you are only entitled to one vote.
Okay. So when you say Igbo son, does it entail that Ohaneze is gender sensitive? It does not include the women
No. Igbo son
gender.
is as long as you are an Igbo son or a woman, man or woman, the Ohaneze is gender sensitive
So
because I know that there are some members of some women that is at the national level. We still have the women wing, that being presided over by the women, and
okay,
their decisions is being implemented by the National Executive Committee. So Ohaneze for sure is gender sensitive, but we need to
okay,
deepen it. We need
okay.
to deepen it more.
So
I want to see more women as the next.
the opposition you are encountering in this venture, has it got to do with geopolitics? Like some people tend to say you are from River State or you are from Ikwere, and you say you are not Igbo. Is there anything like that, crop up?
Yeah, there are some sentiments of that nature, but it's very primitive for anybody to come to that thought of line of thought, because no man who is an adult that cannot define his origin agree for sure that some of us from River State or Ikwere may say, okay, we are not Igbos. Some say they are Igbos. For all I care to understand, I am born to understand Igbo language without anybody teaching me. And at my age, I came to the conviction, irrevocable conviction, that that thing that is part of my heritage is part of my history. If I can hear Igbo language naturally, then my history cannot be divorced from Igbo. That's my conviction. So nobody can tell me otherwise. I'm almost 60 years old.
Okay.
So nobody can tell me the next 2
Okay,
years I'll be 60
I'm
years.
going to
So
ask you more questions on that, but I'm trying to connect with Chilos. Unfortunately, I can't hear him. I can see him, but I can't hear him. He's not. His audio is not. Chilos, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the
Okay,
network
okay. Yes,
is
I can hear
from
you now.
your exit.
Yeah,
There is
yeah.
an
I can.
icon.
I can hear
Can you
you
hear
now.
me
Yeah,
now?
yeah. I can hear you now. Okay. So first, let me welcome you to the program. Network has been very unfair to you. Let me welcome you to the program first. Chilos is the president of Igbo National Council. So Chilos, from your own perspective, I don't know if you've been hearing what High Chief Jackson has said. From your own perspective, you are leading, the youths, the Ohanese youths in Igbo land. What is your own understanding of what is playing out in Ohanese and Ndigbo since after Chief Iwanyanwu's demise?
Okay, I think probably what is playing out is just politics. It's a natural politics of the Nigerian state. It's a politics of geopolitical zones, and it's a politics being coordinated by governors that have a primordial interest. So it is not natural, it is not constitutional, but it is just because of the 2027 general election. That is already a factor that is influencing whatever that is playing on. And you also know that 16 years ago, you can also understand that 16 years ago, this kind of politics played on when the president general then was from Delta State under the leadership of Ralph Uweche, where the issue of second tenor also came on board, and it was a bonner, you know. So I think what actually is going on is part of the politics, that has a lot to do with the 2027 general election because it's going to be a historical election in Nigeria. So the Igbo nation is already positioned to take critical positions that is going to affect the Igbo nation and then the Nigeria. So that is exactly why you can see all the hassles that are taking place on the issue of the succession of the leadership of Ohaneze.
Okay, so
Thank you.
yeah, so do you think the Ohaneze Ndigbo plays that important role in election of governors in Igbo land? Do you think Ohaneze, because it does seem that what plays out these days is about rigging, about who has the so-called structure or whatever. Do you think it's Ohaneze that actually influences who emerges?
Okay, when you look at it, it has its own psychological impact. And that is why most of the times you can see the government agencies talking about Afenifere, Ariwa, Ohaneze, and Pandef. These are ethnic organizations that are already in line and in tune with the leadership elites from those geopolitical zones in which they are domiciled. And in most cases, it has its own psychological effect in who becomes what. Many of times you commit a fraud using a medium. So the medium of these ethnic organizations has become an instrument for our own political elites to either rig or manipulate the people of that region through that social cultural organization. And if you remember, during the 2003 general election, Afenifere was in clear political dispute with President Tinubu, and that played a lot. So even if those do not control the votings of the people, it also has its own psychological impact on the Nigerian state, on the government, and the people from those regions. They are sociocultural organizations, just like PANDEF has its own, and the Arewa Consultative Forum also has a lot of things to do within that enclave of the northwest and the northeast. And when you look at it critically, you also saw the Middle Belt has also come up with the Middle Belt Forum, trying to carve a niche for their own ethnic nationality so they can be recognized in the national politics. So it has a lot to do with 2027 general election.
Okay, let me come to Chief Jackson. One of the issues that are, I mean, very controversial now is the claim. Because why I'm asking you this question is, you just told us your age, and by ranking you should be an elder now. Who should be able to guide the younger ones. We are in the era of social media. A lot of information are flying around. Whether authentic or not. But we want you to correct certain information out there. I mean, to tell us what the true fact is. There is a dispute, a quarrel over the history of the Igbos in River State. Especially the Ikweres. They claim, some people say they are from Benin Kingdom, that they come from Benin Kingdom, and others say no, they are from Igbo land. So considering your position and your exposure, can you give us a little bit of history, or a probe into the real origin of the Igbos in River State, especially the Idikweres, just to correct some of the information out there in the social media. I don't know if you can hear me, Chief Jackson. It does seem network is freeze. Chief Jackson, can you hear me? Wow, network has struck again. Even again.
I got your question very
Okay,
clearly.
okay,
I got
okay,
your question very clearly.
okay. So go ahead. If you
So
got my question, go
my
ahead and
take
ask.
on that, my take on that is this. As a civil rights person, I believe in complete human liberty. Those of us who say we are Igbos, Igbos should deal with us. Those who say they are from Benin, The Benin people should deal with them. But all I know is that our forefathers who joined Ohaneze, we are not naive. And most of them were well educated and well exposed. So they have their reason for joining Ohaneze, just like our own generation now, we have a reason for joining Ohaneze. So for those who believe that their ancestry is Benin, good luck. Those of us who believe that our ancestry is Igbo, good luck to us too. If they bring goodies from the Benin, if they give us, we will take. If we bring from Ohaneze and give them, they should take. I want to let this matter, I see this matter and I want to let it bear to my mind because we have dwelled on this unnecessarily. All I am saying is that we that believe we are Igbos strongly believe we are Igbos and will remain with the Igbos as our ancestral home, as our brothers. That is the truth on that. And it should not have anything to do with Ohaneze presidency because in a civilized society, mutual disagreement is allowed. So it's not a big deal for somebody to say, I am from here, I'm from here. But every conscious person should review himself, search his conscience. What is in me that makes me an Igbo man? And what is in you that makes you a Bini man? Is it the name? Is it our market days, the way we name it,
that is what I actually wanted to ask you, the
Yes,
similarities
I'm yes.
and
Yes.
contrast you
Is it
have.
the name? Is it the market days? Is it the way we stake our yam? Is it the way our women tie our wrapper? Is it our staple food? Is it the way we cultivate our crops in the farm? Is it the way we tap our... What I was trying to say is this. I have viewed myself and those of others who believe they are Igbos. And I say by fact, we learn how to name our market days, which is 4 market days, the way our women tie their wrapper, the way they tie their hair tie, the way we plant our food crops, the way we process our palm oil, the way we tap our palm
Wine.
drink, palm wine, our staple food, everything has similarity with the Igbo culture and tradition. And I am here to see each and every one of us whose culture, including staple food and everything I have just mentioned, towards the Benin. Is it our names? Virtually all Ikwere names have something to do with Igbo. None of us answer Benin language names. I have friends from Benin. I know their names and so on. I've not seen any Ikwere man name his child after Benin name. So that is what baffles me. That's where my worry is. So I believe that with time, those who feel they are from Benin will retrace their step. But like I said, I believe in human liberty. Let everyone decide who you want to relate with. But for me, I believe I have something to do with Igbos and I will continue to have something to do with them.
Okay.
That's my position on that.
Okay. So what kind of followership or solidarity does Ohaneze have in River State amongst the Igbo extraction in River State? What kind of followership does Ohaneze?
We have tremendous followership. Tremendous followership. Despite the fact that anyway from Port Harcourt is far, but when we go out and then we they see Rivers people, like as we bury the Wanya, we went there in number to show that we are Rivers people. You can ask them to play the clips, they will see it. With other our Igbo brothers living with us here, we went there in numbers. And you see one thing, the Ikwere man is very accommodating. Everything, there is no day you will see Ikwere man that he doesn't have anything to do with an Igbo man. Our houses, our businesses is interwoven with our brothers from Igbos. We are very accommodating people, very kind people, you know. So these things does not play out when we mix together. It's just when politics come, people start, start jangling around. This that happen, but in reality, those things does not exist. I'm just
Okay.
telling you. You can ask our brothers staying here. It doesn't exist. These things are just, and some of these things were planted immediately after the war in order to segregate brothers together. That's why even you see the state creations and so on. Look at Abia State, you have some Ndoke people in
Okay.
Rivers State, some
Yeah.
Ndoke people in Abia.
Yeah. Yeah.
These things are
Even
political
In
divinations
Imo, you
just to
have
cause conflict.
Egbema. You have Egbema in Imo. You
You
have
have
Egbema in
Ebema in
Rivers.
Igbo, you have Ebema in Rivers.
Yeah.
These things are just to cause political confusion and balkanize the Igbo land, and which Ohaneze should be in forefront to demand the correction of most of this nonsense. We are
Okay.
not slaves in Nigeria. We are freeborn. No Nigeria, no tribe or talk cannot subdue or intimidate Igbo man. The
Okay.
days for those things have gone, not for those are only a generation.
Okay. So currently, who are the people now contesting for the leadership of Ohaneze from Rivers State?
I am one of them.
Okay. So how many are you running for that in Rivers
Well,
State?
I'm here. There are one or two other persons that is interested, but I can vouch for myself because I believe that I have the credibility, I have the necessary sine qua non. I am well exposed, and outside that, I believe in the cause of Igbo man. I believe for true Igbo renaissance, and I will champion it and see it. I am going to hold the torch pointing to the land of Canaan in this country, where every Igbo man will be free to do whatever he wants to do, unhindered. That is
Mhm.
my concept. That's my belief. No single Igbo son or daughter under my leadership will be haunted unnecessarily. No single one will be treated like a felon when he is not. Then they have the president of Ohaneze to contend with if I am elected.
Okay. So moving forward, let's look at the issues concerning the succession. Some people are saying, what does the rule or the constitution of Ohanese say when a leadership or when a leader, dies the way Chief Iwanyanwu exited? Is it that his tenure has to be, concluded by his state, or does it mean automatic move to another state? What does the constitution of Ohanese say? If I don't know if Chief Iwanyanwu will finish his tenure, so but if he didn't
Chief
finish it,
William did not finish his tenure.
okay, so what does
Chief
the
William did not
constitution?
finish. He had just for either 3 or 4 months to go before his tenure elapses. His tenure is supposed to elapse this January 10th.
Okay, so
You
what does the
understand?
constitution say about that?
The constitution of Ohanese is very clear and ambiguous about it. By the constitution of Ohanese, when the president is not there, the deputy president general takes over and
Okay.
the midwife the issues and the affairs of Ohanese and Ndigbo. Then if the tenure of this producing state still remains, it is the Deputy President General that will organize the National Executive Committee, and then the state will replace the vacuum, and then Ohaneze will continue to run. So what happens in this case now is that we have few months to go, 3 months or thereabout, or 4 months to go before his tenure elapsed, before he died. And it took time to plan his burial because he's a big man. Within this time, his burial is being planned. The time is drifting. So if you look at it, this is December, and they just have 1 month, or call it 36 days or 38 days to go before his tenure elapse. But if Imo still want to complete their tenure, the neck Imo will have to be summoned, and we'll take a decision on that. There's nothing wrong with it. But what I'm saying, what I'm insisting that if Imo is complete their tenure, then how about Rivers State Deputy President General? What happens? We have to still conclude our tenure because after the Deputy President General died, we never presided on that position till date. So if Mimo is coming back now to prepare the day they complete their tenure, then Rivers State should be allowed to complete their tenure. What is good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
We don't
So
want to
see,
see an Ohaneze
yeah.
that will
Now,
be shooting towards one end.
yeah. So now that Chief William has been, successfully buried, has there been any convocation of the assembly? I mean, the Ohaneze Association,
Imobi or General
any of the
Assembly.
levels?
No, there has
Yeah.
not been any meeting. There has not been any meeting
So
called until now.
who is in a position to convene a meeting now?
The person that is statutorily in a position to convene such meeting is the Deputy President General of Ohaneze.
Which is
It is
yourself.
not the Secretary,
Which is
which is
yourself.
myself.
Okay. So
Yes,
have you made any effort to do that?
I've told them, I issued a press statement, I told them that it is my duty to convene Imobi. They know that's the right thing to do. In the absence of Deputy President General, then in alphabetical order, the Vice President should preside. But in this case, nobody has given any valid answer to the question of replacing River State Deputy President General that even died before Professor Biozo. This is why our people are angry.
Okay.
The
Okay.
signal is a very wrong signal.
You have a deputy president general who is also late.
The Deputy President General died before the President General, which is
Okay.
Professor Biozo, even before Iwanyanwu took over. So immediately Iwanyanwu took over, River State submitted myself in a solid, well-written nomination letter that I should now replace, just as Imo replaced Obiozo with Iwanyanwu. Up to date, they jangled around it as if they are dealing with they are dealing with non-entities. The way I look at it. But the blood that flows in their vein is the same blood that flows in our own vein. If they gamble, we know they're gambling because we are brothers. We share the same blood. So there's
Yeah.
no way an Igbo man will play in tricks Ikwere man will not understand because we share the same ancestral lineage.
Okay. So moving forward now, considering the nature of the Nigerian state, Nigerian nation, what do you think? What do you think the Ohanese Association should be now? How do you think it should be operating? What do you think it should be doing now, considering how Nigeria is, economically, politically, socially, and all of that?
Yes, Ohaneze should be up and doing. I must tell you, to be frank and candid, Ohaneze have not really stood up in defense of the interests of Ndigbo for some time now. And that is very sad. I want to believe that the new Ohaneze will stand up and speak and defend the social political interest of Ndigbo. You can see my brother there made a statement of governors getting involved because of 2017 to 2027 thereabout. Ohaneze should be involved to determine who becomes the governor of every state. Because we are talking about our collective patrimony here. We are talking about our interest. It is a holistic interest of Ndigbo. So if they are get interested in what happens in Ohaneze, we should get interested in who becomes the governor of any state. It's the duty of Ohaneze to clear governors, no irrespective of party. Yes, they belong to several parties, but we know who can serve the interests of Ndigbo in every state. Not somebody imposing a governor on us and they free to away our money and we keep quiet. So Ohaneze should be interested. Ohaneze should be interested to know who becomes a senator or not. Others should be interested to know who becomes a House of Rep member. Others should be interested to know who becomes a councillor in various wards. Because if we have these men and women positioned and who goes out there for the interests of Ndigbo, Ndigbo land will change for better. But unfortunately, another grows over some of these important issues that borders on our collective existence, and it becomes, no man's business. But they should equally understand that it affects all of us generally. When you keep silent, then you allow an idiot to preside over you. That is what we are saying. So if Arawa should be able to be making moves to decide who represent them at various places, Ohaneze should be more interested in that. Because today in Igbo land, I can tell you consciously and seriously, we are individually rich, collectively poor, which means we are poor. And we are poor because of lack of organizational structure of Ohaneze to bring our economic interests into one basket where everybody will be happy. This is our problem. So we are looking at new Ohaneze that will bring the interests of Ndigbo together. Ohaneze that will set up an Ohaneze, industrial estate. We think about Ohaneze that will have comprehensive data of all Igbo men and women all over the world, including children, death, death, birth date, death, age, school, and so on. How many children of Igbo nation is leaving secondary school next year? How many is graduating next year? How many is entering next year? How many is entering nursery school? We should have comprehensive data so that we can holistically plan.
Okay.
We can't
Now,
just be playing politics and politics
yeah,
and politics without direction.
yeah. Now, let me ask you. Let me ask you. What is Ohaneze doing concerning the tax reform issue that is presently on the table? Because in the north, both the Arewa Consultative Forum and the Northern Elders Forum, and even their governors have come up with, their position. They've done the analysis, they've come up with their position, and they said this arrangement is not going to favor the north, and they are, calling for its suspension. For now, what is the position of the Igbos, and has Ohaneze actually looked into this issue? To know what is going on. There's a shadow casting behind you there. I don't know if somebody is, tampering with the light, but there's a shadow casting behind you. So now, what is the position of Ohaneze on this tax reform issue? Because few days ago, somebody from the north raised an alarm that even the southeast will not be favored by that arrangement. That all the taxes, 60% of them everything will be flowing to Lagos. So have we actually looked at it from the Igbo land to know what it holds for us? And then, you know,
It's,
um, yeah. So okay, just finish that one before I come to the next
yeah,
issue.
let me be very, very honest to you. We have failed to invest inward. Why people are complaining of everything going to Lagos? Because Lagos now is the industrial hub of the whole nation. Most of the factories and industries that generate income this way is closed down. And these things are deliberate manipulation of the economic system of this country. Have you asked yourself why the oil companies that are drilling oil in Niger Delta have their headquarters in Lagos? Why should they? They should be in Niger Delta so that they feel the impact of the oil they are drilling and be able to mitigate it when it happens. Do you understand? Now, they pay taxes in Lagos instead of paying taxes here in Niger Delta where they drill the oil. These are the lopsided economic activities that is going on in this country. And previously, Ohaneze had just kept the quiet silence about it, which is wrong. And the economic interest of the people is not being protected. So we should begin to invest inward so that we can generate a value added tax here, take our own percentage and give the rest to the federal government. They not have a reason to complain without sounding immodest. What are they bringing?
Okay, dear viewer, this is where we are going to draw the curtain for today. Unfortunately, the network couldn't allow us to finish up the program. But to the extent we discussed, I'm sure you must have been informed about some of the issues concerning the topic we discussed today, the Ohaneze leadership issue, and the Rivers State bid to lead Ohaneze, and even the Ikwere identity issue. Whether they are from Rivers, whether they're from of the Igbo stock or from the Benin Kingdom, I'm sure you've got some good information about these issues. So on this note, because of time, we are going to draw the curtain for today. I want to thank you immensely for watching and once more apologize for the challenges we had with the network. Of course, this one is beyond us. It has to do with the network connection in Nigeria. So I'm going to wrap up the program here. My name is Obidima Ako, your anchor. I'm going to be back again for another program sometime and to discuss another issue. Until I come that time, like I usually say, Aluta continua.